I love a buttered biscuit.
Damn. Welcome, Gutter Girl.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for making this happen. It's been a little while to get this put together because
Well,
you're way out there on the west side of the world, and
yeah,
it's you,
you're
the
way
only
over there.
person that's the only person that's more difficult is Melissa Jane because she's literally on the opposite side of the world. So
Yeah, she's in another country, isn't she?
no, it doesn't
Oh,
exist. No, I'm just kidding.
oh,
No, she's in Australia.
yeah.
Hey, Sugar Britches, good to see you. Farrell, good to see you. Oh man, and my favorite mod, Rabbit. She is just an absolute doll. I hope you're feeling much better, Rabbit. And Lee Sugar Britches. Well, welcome. Gutter Girl is here hanging out. And of
I
course,
I spread the news.
yes. Well, thank you. And we're hoping that we can get some of my folks that are sub to me to come over and sub over there to you and
And
help
vice
grow
versa.
your channel.
Well, and
Uh,
vice versa.
yeah,
There's
absolutely. But
yeah,
I really want to see some. I want to see you get monetized.
I'm almost there. I'm
Yeah.
at, like well, I'm at that almost at 500, but I have 97 people to go, so 97 subs to go. So
You'd be surprised how fast that can happen. Like
mhm.
it'll just all of a sudden you'll have it'll climb, but the good thing and I would recommend not like having people like just all of a sudden like pile in there and sub
Right.
that natural organic growth. And if you notice that it gets up to that 500, immediately hit that start doing it, like where it'll
Hmm.
start working through the
Apply more.
monetization,
Hmm.
because you'll probably lose a whole bunch of subs. Like they'll just all of a sudden disappear, like YouTube kicks them all off. And then just keep grinding at it. If you're at that point, pretty soon it happens. How many watch hours? You watch hours pretty good too.
Oh yeah, I'm over 4,000.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so
You'll be fine.
yeah,
We got more people coming in. Leah
yeah.
Sugar Bridges and
Sherry,
Sherry from Canada.
yes,
Awesome.
another one of my girls. These are all my kids.
I'm telling you. So you interest me a lot as far as a human, because I was like, who is this Gutter Girl that comes in here? I mean, that's like probably one of the most insulting names you could call somebody. I'm like, is this a joke? I was like, no, this is Gutter Girl. She's
No,
straight up. I'm just
that's
like,
right. Yeah,
and 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 you're a grandmother, is that correct?
I am times two.
See, I don't believe that for a second. You do
Yeah,
not look like you should be a grandmother at
yeah.
all.
I actually have a 13-year-old granddaughter, and then I have a 16-month-old grandson. So
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
girl.
so yeah, I have three kids of my own. So yeah, I'm 39.
Yes,
Born,
obviously.
yeah, born in 69. You do whatever common core math you need to figure that out, but that's what I am. And that's where I'll stay until I feel I need to move up. So I was 29 for the longest time, and then everybody just kind of laughed at me when I'd say it. So I was like, okay, I
Okay.
probably better move up the ladder a little because they can't even start to believe me. So yeah.
Well, I'm proud of every gray hair I have, and if you were born in '69, that's the same year that I was born. So
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
I was
yeah.
born in 69.
So you're out in Oregon,
Hmm. Yeah.
out in the boonies of Oregon, and
Yeah.
you have three grandchildren. You're married.
No, two grandchildren. And yep, I'm
Oh,
married
two
with,
grandchildren
yeah,
and
two
three
kids.
children.
Hmm. Yes. So yeah, I'm married to an airplane mechanic slash pilot. So yeah, he
And he
works for an
likes
airline.
w- well, and is it a major airline or just a smaller airline?
It's a smaller airline. He
Very
just
cool.
sticks with the yeah. Yeah, we really never wanted to get into the whole big thing because then we'd have to move to bigger cities, and
Yeah,
this is
to
big enough.
have the
So,
hub. Yeah,
yep.
so
Yeah.
doing the smaller flights is better. Oh my gosh. Well, look at this.
Yep.
MLS is coming by. David,
Yes, Lord,
good
get
to
out here.
see you. Farrell is how old? I don't know. She's your sister, MLS. We give him a hard time. We give David a hard time and Farrell forever. Because I think everyone thought that David was married to Farrell for a long time. And he was just like, no, we're not married. We're brother and sister.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, David said, she's my
It's
older
okay in
sister.
some states. So what the heck?
Oh my gosh. And
Well, so I was going to tell you how I received the Gutter Girl name was actually another channel. Well, for starters, I've been this way like my whole life, and I've always kind of had this if you say in, I say out, and then the whole I go straight for the gutter, and it just never ends. Hi, Ann. But I had been going to somebody's channel named Rick Gore, who is a retired policeman who is from Texas, and he has two channels. He has a horse channel called Think Like a Horse, and he has a Good Luck America channel, which is, it used to be called Think Like a Cop, but he had to change it because, YouTube didn't like it. So
yeah,
he changed it to Good Luck America, and that is where I received my nickname, is because every time he'd say something, of course I would say something, and it would be, in the gutter. And so when I would show up, he would just say, wow, here's my gutter girl. She's here. And so finally I just changed my name. I had been going by my name on YouTube. So I changed it to Gutter Girl, and that was it. It just stuck. And then at one point, he had said, all right, you guys, I got to turn off my heat.
Oh, that's fine.
I see. He said, you guys, I can't concentrate because y'all are going to the gutter all the time and you distract me and you don't help, and you need to start your own damn channel that has to deal with the gutter and just take it there. So there was a woman from Australia who actually had started a page called Gutter Talk, and she wanted me in there. And so I joined her immediately, and we started it. And then she kind of got a little nervous. Some people, it's really, when people start to notice you, and it makes you a little nervous. And she had some people that, lived beside her, and she was from Australia. And so there was just a lot of things that were different between me and her. And so the time change was huge, between us, and it made it really difficult to keep her going. And she, had a full-time job. And so it was just really difficult. So she decided she was going to go. And so we decided that we would pull somebody else in. And that happened to be my partner, who I started this channel with, which was Yankee Redneck. And he's a bald-headed biker who is just the greatest dude. I just love him to pieces. And we had a really, really good rapport, and it worked really good I'm sure you've seen our videos, and other people did, and we had a really good rapport. It was super good, and we had a excellent following, most of them of which still follow. But then he decided he would leave, and so it was called Yank and Gutter then. And so then I gave him a while to see if he'd come back, because I was kind of hoping he would. And he you could just tell he was set, like, I don't want to do it like this anymore. I'll do YouTube on my own terms. I don't want to do it like this. So, and I didn't blame him. So I said, okay, I got to change the name. So then it went to Gutter's Pub, and then I just started, doing what I could. LC actually helped grow it. But anyways, that's where it came from, was from Rick Gore, Good Luck America. So if anybody's into, sticking to your gun rights and that sort of thing, he's your man. So
Absolutely. Well, and my introduction to you, if I'm not mistaken, was from LC, is where I ran into you. And
Yeah.
and you had subbed to me, and you gave me a shout out, and I was like, God, I know that name. I know that name. And it was just like, yeah, from LC. I'm like, okay, now I remember it. And then I realized I wasn't even subbed to you. I was like, oh, I need to go sub to her. And so I subbed up to you, and I was like, oh, okay. Now I'm a little more in the know of who she is. It's like I couldn't remember. I'm just because my start on this was just it was about this time last year that I started getting a little bit more serious about it, and Christmas was coming up, and I was like, I just don't have any time to stream or do anything. So I just sort of I started in November and then just took December and just sort of was like, do I really want to do this? And I did a couple of streams, and it got a little bit interesting. It started building. And then I jumped on someone's channel and I started building up my following. And then I noticed that I had the same, it seemed like the same 10 people anytime that I streamed. And that was it. There was just 10 people showing up. I was like, well, my channel isn't growing. What can I do to get this to grow? And I started stepping out a little bit more and joining other people's channels and talking with them. And then that's whenever it was Valhalla. One night after a stream, he was like, LC is streaming. You guys want to go over and give him a hard time? And so that's what we did. And next thing you know, LC just like gave a big boost and big talk, really helpful. I mean, and it was
helpful with me. Mine too. I was impressed at how quick he was to help me out, and so yeah. I thanked him a lot, and I try to push his channel and that sort of thing. So I do try to make sure I give back because he was really good to push me out there and get people to sub. So
yeah, and he's not everybody's flavor, and it's
no.
And it shouldn't be. And I think that's the beauty of the YouTubes is, if you don't like my flavor, maybe you like one of my guest flavor and you go, hey, I'm going to go check them out. I'm not really into this Shizzy Wiznut guy, but he's got some pretty cool guests. And so if I see someone that I haven't seen before, I might go check it out. And it, some of them stay, some of them leave, but it's everybody. This YouTube thing is so vast that helping others out doesn't take much at all to really give back to the community that gives to you.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing.
One of the things that I noticed was I tend to get bored easy. I think I've done exactly what the internet world wants me to do, which is get bored easy. So I need to move on to something else. And so, it's keeping this channel has kind of made me go, no, you're going to stick with this. And Yank Levin actually made me push more for it. Cause at first I was like, maybe I should just, ease on out too. Yeah. And just go. And then, I don't know, something triggered in me. I think it was my subs that went, don't you fucking dare leave. Don't you dare. We have Tuesday nights pegged for you. Don't you go anywhere. So
yeah, and there's been a couple of times where I've wanted to do the same thing. So I completely understand where you're at, and one thing that I have found that helps out is there are people that sort of depend on you for that shot of whatever it is that you're giving them. And then whenever you're not there, like you do, yours is what, every Tuesday you've got your, so every Tuesday Gutter Girl does her show. That is set up for her every Tuesday. And whenever at some point you're going to go, well, I can't do Tuesday because I'm going to be on vacation or something like that. So they end up wanting you even more because they're like, I need my Gutter Girl on Tuesday, but I'm not getting her.
And it is kind of strange how, I mean, now they're all really good, especially my usuals. My true, I call them my kids, because when Yank left, it became a story about how dad went out. Dad left mom and the kids. He went out for a pack of cigarettes and a loaf of bread, and he never came home. And so that's where we kind of went with the whole thing. And it was just, I mean, it was too funny. And Yankee's really good about it. He'll come back into the chat and visit with us and stuff. And then he comes on Discord, and took us forever to get him on Discord, which Bobby, bless his little soul, he got it. But it was quite funny. So that's kind of, they're kind of like all my kids in a certain sense that, I mean, I worry about them. When one don't show up, I'm like, wow, it's been a couple of weeks. Where the hell is she? Or where the hell is he? How come he's not here? And, because you get used to seeing them, and them, what they like and what they don't like and their personalities. And so, yeah, it's kind of strange how it's, become closer knit than I ever imagined it would.
Well, and sometimes you do have to take a break away, and away from the YouTube altogether. And I would never suggest doing it for a very long extended period of time, because then it's really hard to get back in the groove of it. And it feels like you're working really hard, unless you're driven like that, where you're just like, no, I thrive on the stress of getting it back up and running and making sure that it's going. Then yeah, take the time out. But I mean, just taking time for yourself, time for the family, time for a break from everything, because this is time consuming. It's not. I mean, there's people that whenever they're doing like videos, for an hour video, they might spend 3 or 4 hours working, editing, correcting any issues with it. So this is a lot easier doing the live stream, but there are some downsides to it, because you make mistakes a lot.
Well, and you set yourself up, man. You really set yourself up to be, slammed, and I can sit and read chat, and yeah, I can almost pick out personalities where immediately, and it's so funny because my name does not help. It does not help me with most of the ladies. It will help me with every dude. As soon as they're like, gutter, what? Wait, whoa. I mean, they're immediately on it. And it kind of bums me out, because there's a lot of women that have that same mindset that I do. They just don't like to admit it, and they try to play the whole, perfection.
Well, and I know that especially on the YouTube spot, you really have to watch your language very carefully, because say the wrong thing, YouTube deletes you. And it's one of those where I've come to the point where I moderate my language whenever I'm here. But outside of it, like I'm not as good. And
usually, if that's why I try to be really careful about not letting chat push me, because I've had people that were in chat like push me to the edge. Actually, it's happened on somebody else's channel, which was my buddy Rick's. And I went, because it was all regarding another country and their beliefs regarding marriage and,
yeah,
people. And I was just like, I went off. And of course, Rick's trying to, he's like, chill, gutter, Jesus, it's just a conversation. I'm like, no, that's not what he's saying. He says it's his belief. And, so I've learned to kind of step back and go, okay, you have to realize that people have their own beliefs. And even if you don't like it and you want to burst out and tell them so, it might not behoove you to do so. You probably just better shut the hell up and let them, it was Rick's channel anyway. So
Yamaha, we were right in the back room. We were talking about you.
Yes, we were.
Gutter says she wants to hear more moans on your channel, brother. She longs for them. She longs for your moans.
I yearn for them. Okay, here's what happened. So I watched you the first time here telling the stories, and you're quite the moaner. And I look forward to them. And, then you sprinkle everybody else in it. And oh my gosh, Diva, she is
amazing.
oh my God, I just love her to pieces. So anyways, but Yamaha, when I went to your channel and I would listen to you do like the night before Christmas or whatever story you were telling, I'm like, what the fuck? There's no moans. I mean, none. Where's the moans? So I was a bit low.
Well, it's this. I amazingly enough had seen Yamaha Biker in chat a few times. And it was one night, I think it was on Discord, that he showed up. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy has a great voice. I mean, why is he just hanging out in chat? He should be running his own channel. Just listening to him talk and he's always had that great sense of humor where he's just constantly back and forth at people and giving unwanted advice that you didn't know was wanted. You know what I mean? Where it's like you didn't realize that, but that was just the pill that you needed to swallow. Whenever he says something, you're like, oh, that was so good. That was just, where in the hell did he come up with that from? Yamaha isms.
The wit that comes out of, well, all you guys have really quick-witted. And sometimes I'm not quite as quick-witted. And so, I mean, but man, when you guys get on those stories, and I have a hard time like following along because I'm usually just, tears are just running down my face. And Voltrum too. Is it Voltrum or Volstorm?
Volstorm.
Oh, dude. Him and his Bill Cosby.
This Cartman is Bill Cosby. I mean, just
all of them.
Just
there is just too much.
Just they don't lack any sort of talent. I mean, it's just, it's all there. And then you get Kaiser in there, which he can get that really deep voice if he wants to.
Yeah. Well, and then Caitlin and her little voice and the way she can go from one side to the other, just, I mean, I just love it. Y'all just crack me up. And like I said, I can barely read a story to myself, let alone, I mean, read the story and change the voices like you guys do. It's just, Diva is dead on with that whole across the pond
ASMR. Oh, the right. It's okay if I want to get down and dirty.
I don't know what it is, but it's good. It's good.
The English accent or Irish as she does. It's wonderful. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better group to join me in doing that. I mean, it just, because we have a good time.
Yeah, you guys,
and that's what I think. This space really needs is, you do have to have your serious points, but it doesn't have to be serious all the time, or angry or hateful or drama filled. It just get on, have a good time, hang out with people that you enjoy hanging out with, and there's always going to be conflicts of that happen in this space. It's going to happen. People are going to move on to other projects, or they're going to start doing something that you don't like. But I mean, you've been around in this space even longer than I have, and you've seen the same thing happen, where it's just like, you don't hold any ill will towards anybody because, well, they decided, I'm done doing this portion of this or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and I think the one thing that you do have to be careful, because if you get in with the wrong crowds, they can definitely lead you down a road you don't necessarily want to go to, because then you get tons of trolls and that whole negative side of stuff that I'm so not. I just don't even. I mean, and
Yeah.
I know that everybody has their little trolls or whatever, but I don't want the viciousness, and I try really hard to stay away from that whole scene of that
Right.
whole business because I just don't want to.
Well,
That's
and
not what
sometimes you don't know that you've gotten into it
until
and
you're
then
in.
and then it's like, what in the hell just happened? But once you get in it, my biggest problem was, well, how do I get myself out of this situation without like leaving everybody hurt and broken and not wanting to, hang out. And sometimes it's just best to rip that Band-Aid off
It is.
and try to better yourself and
Yep.
not worry about what everybody else is doing, because the only person you can change is yourself.
Yeah, and I've realized that a lot I try not to just say, okay, well, I'm not going to support that necessarily and none sub or whatever, and what, but I try to just walk away from it kind of peacefully and just go, okay, let's move on to other things and other other
Yeah.
situations that are a little more healthier maybe. And I'm my name's Gutter Girl for a reason. I am pretty much, I can be very, very abrasive, but I do try to save some face. Now, if we were friends face to face, a lot of times I'll be even way more blunt than I say I am here. Some people are like, "Oh, you're just blunt like this because you're on YouTube."
No.
You ask my kids. They're like, you guys got it easy, man.
Yeah.
Last
Yeah.
time you got pulled by the ear. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
No.
I got no problem with telling people how it is. I do try to filter myself more on YouTube than I do anywhere else. So people
Right.
are kind of lucky for that.
Yes. I've filtered myself quite a bit on YouTube, and I feel that in the outside world of YouTube that it's also helped out quite a bit. Because I've become a little more conscious of some of the things that I'm saying. Um, I mean, it wouldn't be uncommon for me to, use fuck every other word.
Right.
And now I'm like, mm,
Mhm. Yeah.
maybe I won't.
I do try to refrain now. So there are times if, and my chat will know. Usually there's a few of them, Tony, that can kind of set me off and get me off onto the whole F train. And he knows how to do it too. He knows immediately. He's like, "Ooh, look, there's a button. Let me go push it." And he can't wait to get to it. So, we deal with him though. He knows. He's one of my trouble child. So it's okay. I handle him well. He knows when it's time for a spanking.
And you're damn well going to give it to him too.
Right. That's right.
And he's going to enjoy it.
That's right.
Well, and I think a lot of people don't realize that it's not just about us on these YouTube spaces. It is about the community that we've grown, that we foster, and that community extends not just to the people that are in chat, but to other channels that you say, hey, this is a really cool person. They may maybe be silly or stupid or whatever, but they're good people, and that really shows the the ability for you to recognize that our way isn't the only way. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like I was always, at the very beginning of this, I was concerned about the the way that I do my entire show, my entire thing. I was like, I I I think the first couple ones that I did, I think were a little bit put on, I mean, they were still me, but I think they were a little bit put on, and I backed off from it real quick because it just didn't feel comfortable.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, this isn't me. And I think that was sort of the thing is like, that people ask, well, so, what do you do to find your voice? It's just like, well, I don't know. It's your voice. I can't give you any pointers on that. You just have to find what speaks to you and speak on that. And you don't have to be like Lincoln Kane. You don't have to be like Gutter Girl. You don't have to be like Shizzy Wiznut or any of the other people out there. Just be you.
Yep.
And the better you get at being you, the easier it becomes that you don't have to, you don't have to fake it. You just,
the less of a struggle it is. And I was the same way. And in fact, Yank and I would do lots of conversations regarding, of what we should be saying and what we shouldn't be saying. And I think, you get to a point where that is part of the reason you need a break from it, because you are kind of filtering yourself maybe a little more, but also, I do try to stay myself. It is the one thing that I've tried really hard to not let, the whole YouTube sensation, whatever you want to call it, go to my head. I mean, it's not like I have a huge following or anything like that. I'm by no means so, but even if I did, I would hope that I would try to remain still the person that I am. Which, I mean, my name is Julie. It's not Gutter Girl. And so that is me. But there's, I do, my personality is in the gutter most of the time, I have to say. So it's not that, but there is another side to me that isn't always, I mean, I do have, like you said, I do have grandkids and a
right.
life. Can't be in the gutter quite all the time. So, and I do know when to pull back, but for the most part, if you catch me on YouTube, I'm probably going to be, if you step out there, I'm going for it. I'm definitely, if you put even, it doesn't matter. All you have to say is, it doesn't matter.
Do you want me to warm it up?
Talk.
Do you want me to warm it up for you, Gutter?
That's right. That's all, that right there. That's all it takes. Sure. What kind of meat you gonna warm up for me? And
the best meat.
I could do that as a waitress. I mean, can you imagine?
Yeah. Yeah. What kind of meat can I get for you?
That's right. How rare you want that, boy? Well, yeah. That's how I earn tips. That's how I mean, geez, that's how I put bread on the table. So, yeah.
Exactly.
But still, I mean, it's just my personality. But so I don't ever want to change that part of it. I like being me. And I mean, you have no idea. My kids are older than me. All of them. Like there's a lot of this that goes on like,
Mom, stop. Well, so have you always been from Oregon, or did you come from somewhat place else?
Yeah. We both of us, my husband Marvin and I, both actually were born and raised in Idaho. So, and then we transplanted here. I don't know if you know, but Marvin is an amputee. He lost his part of his hand or most of his hand in a logging accident over 30 years ago. And so he then had his big toe, right big toe, put on his hand, and he became an airplane mechanic and a pilot after that. So now he walks around with a toe and a pinky that's turned with a plastic joint in it, and he works on airplanes with that in his other hand. So
that's amazing. That just that takes some drive.
You bet. I mean, like none other. My kids were never allowed to say, I can't, never. I mean, this household was never allowed to say I can't. We definitely were not allowed to do that. I mean, you can't. You just can't.
You can't say can't.
You just can't say.
You got things to do.
So yeah, and then I was I worked with the elderly in assisted living and nursing homes. I was an administrator and all of that before I retired, and decided I was going to stay home and play grandma for the last, I don't know, 7, 8 years. So yeah, I'm loving it. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Gutter Girl was getting them tips.
Oh yes,
She
see,
was-
Tony, there's
She
Tony.
might have been taking the whole thing too. You never know.
That's right. All the way down to the shaft, damn it.
Balls deep.
Right. See, this is where Tony takes us every time. Every time.
Yamaha. Of course, not me. I'm always offended. Yeah, I don't think you're ever offended. Yamaha.
Mm. Dude, his grunts are just his moans. Oh my god, they're just too funny. I mean, if he's married, I cannot even imagine if he tries to pull that shit on his wife. Can you imagine? I'd be like, get the fuck off me, we're done. Shit. Try again.
There's been times my wife, she goes, I forget what your voice sounds like until I'm not paying any attention. Like she because she pays attention to the words that I'm saying and not the way that my voice sounds. And there's been times that she'll come through and she'll hear my voice, and later on she'll be just like, your voice is so sexy. I'm just like, I hate my voice. I can't listen back to it. That's what Yamaha was saying. It's like the playbacks are hell on us because we just don't like the sound of our voice.
Oh yeah, there's nothing better. Just if you just put you two on stream and just let you tell, I don't know.
Anything.
I don't know. You
Just
could probably anything. It wouldn't matter. You would definitely have some women that were sweating balls, so to speak, because there's just, and then if you got Yamaha over there grunting and groaning and moaning and oh my gosh, I'm telling you, it's just you guys had me laugh. Your last story, I missed the live, which I told you that really bums me out when I miss the live. I like to get in the mix of listening or talking in chat. So but I re-listened to it while I was getting ready today, and oh my god, I had to put on my makeup twice because my eye makeup, because I laughed so hard I just had tears streaming down my face. Man, I'm telling you what, that is some of the funniest shit I have ever heard in my life. It's so funny. If nobody's heard the stories, my clan, you've got to go listen to them because they are funny as hell.
Well, we have another one this Sunday, and I've already put together one for the following Sunday. That's going to be more Christmas themed, and trust me, it's going to be not what you're expecting. So,
oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. It won't shock me, trust me, but I cannot wait.
It won't shock you, but it might. I don't know. I'm going to have a hard time reading it and keeping a straight face because it's so damn funny. Because I learned from trying to do those live. Like, you watch the early ones, and yeah, we're pulling it off, but it's a little hard to get it right, and a lot of lag in between all of them. So I've got a system now where I write basically a short story. And then throughout the week, I'll edit it and reread it a couple of times to make sure that, it makes sense. Because I think the last one, it was getting really confusing. That and we were just getting tired. And I've shortened down how long they are. That sounds dirty.
Never do that.
Never shorten it.
Never.
Well, I had to bring back the time a little bit because I don't want my guest being having to be there for 3 hours reading a story.
Have you asked your guest? Because I'm telling you what, I would laugh for 3 hours, no problem. In fact, I'm pretty certain that Mark would go, okay, you need to walk away from that because I'm fucking hungry And I don't know, rewatch it when they're done or whatever, because I can take it in the kitchen. I don't care, but I'm hungry. So
What are we drinking tonight? What do you got?
and I'm gonna put it in a smaller decanter, and I should have, because gotta tell you, Marv went ahead and just got the big bottle of Bailey's.
Jeez. Give me a second. Oh, so I've been sipping on this for a little while. Some Redemption wheated bourbon. Wheated bourbon. Yeah, this is a nice little beverage that I've quite well enjoyed. So I was talking with somebody that did a nice super chat, and they said, yeah, I'm just not into the drinking streams. You know what I mean? Where it's like, that's the goal. I can do them, but then I just don't want to feel like ass the next day. And that's my problem.
Yeah.
So what I've done is, because I don't want anybody to dictate how much I drink. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna drink willingly, and I drink a lot.
Right.
So cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Mm.
Well, I'm not a big drinker because, like, if I was to drink a glass of wine, my limit is 3 per my husband, who says no more than that. Because if you think I'm gutter girl now, you fucking ain't seen nothing yet. So I'm kind of, it's not, he doesn't put many stipulations on me. That is one of them, though. And so, because I may not have clothes on, I'm not a violent drunk, but I can get a little on the saucy side. So, see, Tony, he's over there trying to stir shit. But so I do try to refrain from that, because the problem is once I hit the third glass, I forget the rule of the third glass, and so I'm beyond it. And then yes, pants are prison, especially after the third glass. Everything is
prison at that point.
Yeah. Now I just want you to think back to before we had YouTube, where we would sit around and do this, and your loved one could come shut it off before you made an idiot out of yourself.
Yes.
We learned early on that I could not go out with the girlfriends, and because I'm pretty sure they wrote that song for me about tequila makes her clothes fall off, and it didn't have to be tequila. And I didn't have to only smell the bottle cap, and I was usually hammered. So yeah, we learned early on that I can't go do that.
Yeah. No. Well, you appear to be a very tiny little thing also. So
yeah, well, yeah. And so don't take me very much. Like I said, I sniff the bottle cap and I'm pretty well there.
Yeah. My older sister, she's I think 2 drinks and she's bouncing off the ceiling. So
yeah.
And I think some of it's just in her head, because she just,
I don't know.
It's
in my head.
Well, and she's not tiny. I think she's like 5'7", 5'8". So, my older sister, she was always taller than me until I my balls dropped, and then, well,
right.
Then she, then I grew, like, oh my.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely, I learned pretty early that I just can't seem to maintain without him. I'm the type that drinks the 3 glasses of wine, and then I'm the one drinking the coffee going, okay, I'll be able to drive, honey. And he's drank like 7 margaritas or whatever. And then it's like, no, you probably better drive home, because and this is after I drank a pot of coffee, because we get in the car and I'm going, do all those cars have 4 headlights? No, honey, they only have 2. Probably a good thing I wasn't driving then. Never good.
Well, I usually do my drinking pretty early on. Like if I'm out with my wife, I will have, within the first, I time it by how long we're going to be out. So if we're going to be out for a couple of hours, I'll have a couple of drinks, and I'll have them in pretty quick succession, and then I'll just drink water after that. Like the alcohol gets me like loosened up and sort of chill, but I'm not doing it to sit there and just continuously, drink. And like the other night, we had a get together with some people. It was a little bit of a date night, and I, had a rye neat, and then old fashioned, another old fashioned, another old fashioned, another old fashioned. Yeah, so 4 old fashions and a rye neat, and then for the last 2.5, 3 hours, I drink water.
Yeah, I usually just don't. I mean, here's my deal: is I take a bong hit before I go out. So he drives to the dinner, and then he gets a margarita or whatever he needs while we're there. And then I drive home because we're good. It's over there, so we're back. We're good.
Yeah, somebody's sober on the way there and back. And
Right.
if not, it's Uber. I won't hesitate. Like there's no need if I'm even suspecting that I'm like I'm feeling a little too good, then I'll call Uber. I can come pick up my car tomorrow. I don't have to leave with it tonight.
Yeah, not worth that $10,000 it's going to cost you for a DUI or more. I'm sure it's more by now.
Yeah, when insurance on top of that goes up, and then the sort of the stigma of having that on your record. No.
Fucking Tony, I'm going to beat him.
Sometimes they just need to be beat.
I'm telling you, he does. He likes it though. That's the problem. Is he just like literally asks for it? Please beat me. He likes it. Weird little shit.
Well, and I found your show to be very interesting. And the people that you have on there are very, very interesting. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, they keep it going. And it's amazing because I don't know if you know, like a lot of the backgrounds of the people, and a lot of them don't, say a lot of it, but we have a physician's assistant that's on there, repeatedly, and he's a wealth of knowledge. But then you also have
people like me that's not no knowledge at all.
I can tell you how to wipe a old person's ass. You need that? I got it covered. But there are bio engineers and other electrical. There are really smart people, and so when I always think about why they're here, the bottom line, it's like they're just as dirty minded as I am. That's the only fucking reason they come to my channel, is because they're dirty minded. And this is the one channel they can come hang out, and nobody's going to hold it against them for,
Well, they're actually wanting them to hold it against them.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, they can get it.
Just like put it there.
That's it. When we first started out, when Yank and I first started out by ourselves, we had a conversation about turkey necks. I think maybe it might have been on the first shows, but I don't think so. And it was regarding uncircumcised men. And we got into a deep discussion about the whole it being a turkey neck, and how, because I said, they were like, well, what do you think about, uncircumcised or whatever? And do you ever go there and, deal with that? And, do you ever do what you want to do with that thing? And I'm like, no, I ain't sticking no turkey neck in my mouth. And so that was the beginning of the whole thing about it. It's crazy. Oh my God. So yeah, so to this day, they'll always mention, turkey
necks.
Mm-hmm. we have safe words because with my channel you need them. So there's lots of safe words that come up. Walnut is one that actually came from the Good Luck America channel. So, but most of them are words that these guys come up with in the chat that are, and it's just safe words that say, "Okay, you've gone overboard. Walnut, shut up, no more. Don't stop." It's going to be good when we're already, calling out the safe word.
Oh, and that's a good thing. That's a
Yeah.
to have to that your folks know that there's a place where, okay, it's gotten too far out of hand, and be able to call it off. That's a sign of
The
maturity.
problem is you usually have one or two. I wonder who the one is that goes above and beyond. That they don't. There's some that just can't stop. It's like that one kid that you have that just, you're like, you're pushing it too far. Stop, 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 stop. Well, we have one of those.
Yankee told you stories about getting shaved hairless by a chick in the crazy house.
Yes, he did.
I imagine that would be a very interesting story. I'll have to check that out.
Oh my gosh. The stories.
Oh my.
Yeah, super fun. But yeah, we're a certain kind of people, that's for sure. I mean, and I've kind of realized that there are people that will come and then they'll go, and I don't hold it against them because, like you said, they're just not there. It's not what they're into at our channel.
Right.
They don't want to go to the gutter every 5 seconds. And I'll drag your ass to the gutter pretty much on a regular basis. And if I don't, they will. So there's just no, there's no hope. So.
Well, and that goes back to what I was saying before, is like, because YouTube, there's so many different channels. Sometimes people don't realize what they were looking for was there. It's just they didn't know where to find it. And I found that if I limit myself to just talking to the good kids, and having intelligent conversations, nothing comes intelligent out of here, but attempting to have intelligent conversations, that those that gets a certain group. But and people know that I change things up quite a bit. So it's not, there's times that I'm serious. There's times that I do shows that are very, like, like these mean a lot to me. And then there's other times that I'm just like, I'm letting my freak flag fly, and I'm gonna be doing a video game because I just don't feel like really having a conversation about anything serious, because there's a lot on my mind, that kind of thing. So, and it's good to see that because outside of YouTube, I don't think that our paths probably would have crossed outside of, us randomly running into one another in a bar somewhere in Oregon, which I've never been to, or you running into me in a random place in Georgia that you haven't been to.
Exactly.
And
it could happen, especially with our RV now. You just never know.
You never know when Gutter Girl's going to show up and do a family Christmas vacation.
Yeah. That's where my channel will probably change quite a bit, is when I finally get him to come close to retiring, even if that means he just takes 3 months off or whatever.
Right.
But when that happens, I am going to have to probably change things up. It might be a little more sporadic. It may not be every Tuesday because of, we'll be on the road or whatever.
Well, and you want to know some really interesting things that you can do. Because you're using StreamYard, you can actually record videos on StreamYard.
Right.
And then you can upload them to YouTube as a premiere. And then you can be in the chat whenever it premieres.
Right. Yeah, and so that'll kind of be how I'll have to change it up a little bit, so that there, so that I'm still got that contact with everybody and still being able to hang out. And also, I think it'll be really cool because now there'll be a lot of them that'll be probably annoyed with me, and some of them will be my regulars that you know, because I'll be traveling and it'll be all talking about traveling and the
Right.
and the RV and this and that. And but there'll be a lot of them. I mean, because most of these guys that have come here now, they care about what goes on with me as much as I care about what goes on with them. So
Right.
now it's gone on further than just the content that I present. At least the ones my my OGs, the people that actually give two shits about because people come here just or come to my channel just to talk or or to have fun or whatever, and they don't want that connection, and that's absolutely fine. But there are a lot that I've become connected to that I mean, if something happened to them, I would be extremely bummed at this point. So it's
Right.
been well over a year. Um so yeah, but
And new ones come in every day that you'd be
they do. They
that's
do.
that's and
Yeah.
what so what kind of growth are you seeing with your channel? Is it just a couple here and there
Yeah, it's just a
growing?
couple here.
That's good. No, I mean,
Yeah.
and that ends up being more organic, I found. I mean, mine hit the monetization point, and then it went up a little bit past that, and that just sort of tapered off, and just it's a one or two here and there, and
Mhm.
it's fine. It feels better. I don't feel like I'm getting overwhelmed. I don't know how I would react if I looked up one day and all of a sudden I had, you know, 20,000 subs on there. I'd be like, "Holy crap. I've really got to perform something here for
Yeah.
everybody."
And credit to LC, it jumped about 100 with him to begin with. When he first kind of brought me under his wing and said, "Hey, come to our channel and I'll get you your 500 subs." And that's not easy. I was, I'm grateful for the subs that I got. So,
Yeah.
and some of those people dropped off, and that was fine because again, they're just not into what I'm putting out, and it's okay that they don't have to be, and I'm
Right.
okay if they came and looked at it, and if they unsubbed, it's even okay. It doesn't really bother me a bit. So I've learned to have a little tougher skin with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's not gonna change your content, and I think that's the best part about it, is you don't have to change your content to keep subs and keep things
Mhm.
happening. You just go and you have fun, and you get to meet great people
Yep.
in the process of doing it. It's like I never would have met this lady right here talking trash and truths.
Actually, you sent me to her.
Yeah. I never would have found her if it wouldn't have been for somebody that I don't associate with anymore.
Yeah.
It never would have happened. And
Mhm.
I'll always be thankful to that person for, introducing me to this wonderful person. Same way with Rabbit. Like Rabbit was one of my first subs on this channel. And she is an absolute lovely lady.
Oh, I know.
No, nobody goes after Rabbit without, like, the whole internet coming down on them,
Mhm.
or at
Yeah.
least this side of the internet. We
Yeah.
may not be big, but we're mean.
Well, and now it's really strange how I can kind of pick up on before it was a little hard to pick up on how people kind of perceived you or what they felt about you. And now I can kind of tell like who's going to be the judgy ones that are going to be like, "Oh, she's a slutty bitch. Her name is Gutter Bub." And I'm just like, "Fuck, I don't, it doesn't matter to me." And I try not to be that person that goes, but I end up, I mean, I don't, it doesn't matter. I don't, if you don't like me, you don't like me, and you don't have to. And it don't give two shits to me. I was doing good before you came along, and I'll do good when you're gone. So, but it is really neat because people that I never thought that I would be friends with, now I am friends with, which is something that um, it's actually made me stand back and not be so judgy about certain people.
Right.
One specifically, Steve. from the other night. I don't know if you watched my live a couple of weeks ago or whatever, but
Yeah.
the first time he came on, he was the biggest pain in the ass, and I just wanted to, oh, he made me so mad. But by the next week, when actually he skipped a week and he came the next week. By the time he came back, I had a whole different outlook on how I was going to handle the situation. And in the end, he became somebody that I could sit and visit with. And one of the things that I had said to him was, when you come back, your homework, I got some homework for you. Will you do it for me, Steve? Because he came sloshed. But I think he had really good points, but he couldn't make them because he was just too sloshed. And he said he was. I wake up in the morning, I'm retired, I get up and get drunk. And I said, here's the deal. I think you have really good points, and I want to know those good points. So could you not drink until we start the live next time that you come on? And then you can drink the whole live. But because I want to see your good, I want to hear your good points, but I can't hear them because you're slurring your words too much, dude. Fucking sober up some, okay? And he was like, and he just thought I was, he thought it was great. I mean, I tried to be really good with him, but in the end, I realized, after that live, I thought, you know what? That's exactly how, I started out really judgy, like, it's just a drunk and I don't want to deal with this shit. But by, within 2 weeks, because I took the time to open my mind, I was able to go, oh, you know what? He's kind of a cool dude. And he's, nobody's perfect. So you kind of have to take, you have to take everybody as what they're worth. They're,
Yes.
what's all the book value. So to speak. So yeah, it was kind of something I really realized about myself as to how to treat people. Because I could have been shitty again to him. And I was shitty on the first time that he came in. I literally kicked him out because I was like, I ain't putting up with that shit. It's like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't be quite that way. So, yeah, but there's some that you give an inch and those sons of bitches will run right over the top of you. So you do got to kind of have a clue as to who, though. That's my point to all this is you kind of have to still be careful because there's some that they will rip you through the coals if you let them. So I do try to pay attention.
Well, and I don't like the Jersey accent. That's just not my thing. It's not appealing to me. But with T3, it's her personality that I tend to forget that she does have that accent because she's a completely different person than that kind of brash attitude. Because
she's out.
Well, she knows. It's not like I'm telling her she doesn't know. But I do forget that she has the Jersey accent because I get used to hearing T3 and not hearing the Jersey accent. That makes sense. So it's more about the person. My sister, she goes, you've got like a Southern accent. I was like, I don't think I have a Southern accent at all. She goes, no, it's there. Okay. If you say so.
Well, Talking Trash has already figured Tony out. I'm so glad you have. Thank you, honey. I just give that little fucker all the shit you can because he needs it, and I need him wore down because he's a lot. We have to keep him wore down.
Yes. He enjoys the boot on the neck. T3.
He does. He likes it, especially from a female.
Yeah.
He's all about it. So give it to him, girl. I got you.
I got you back, T3. Yeah, and T3 is, a perfect example of the kind of people that you meet in this kind of space is, there's something about them. You have like a little bit of prejudice about them because of, something that they don't really have any control over, don't even really think about. And you lose that kind of prejudice towards them because no, they're actually a really cool person, and you don't think about, whether they're female, whether they're male, whether they're uh from the Middle East or from Germany or from, Russia or Afghanistan or anything like that. You tend to forget all that if they're just being all themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes a space like this so unique, because where else would you find the melting pot of the United States
I know.
is,
I know.
is right here on YouTube.
One of the things that I wonder is, like, back in the day, I had a lot of friends. And over the years, as you get older, it's amazing how you kind of, you can usually count like all your friends on, a couple hands maybe. But back in the day when you're a teenager, you had tons of them. And I think the big difference is that whole judgmental thing. Now, in saying that, Gutter Girl does have some morals, and there's certain ones, and we won't get into them here, but there are certain ones that I do not bend at all on.
Yeah.
And I will not, no matter what. I don't give two shits. If it comes up in conversation between you and me, or even on somebody else's channel, and I don't care. I will stand firm on it's only a couple, but I will lay down my life to stand firm on what I believe in. And I will not filter on that in one way or another. But all the other stuff is just fluff, and I don't really give two shits. So it all depends on if you're a good person. If you're a good person at heart, it doesn't matter to me whether you took a bath in the last week or, I really don't.
Or how much you had to drink, or what
exactly.
place you're from, or who your parents were, or any of that
stuff. Or I just don't, there's so much more.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's one thing that
I think a lot of people are like that, though. There's some things that there are certain lines that you don't cross.
Yep.
Regardless. And, I think YouTube knows what those lines are, and they push it as much as they possibly can.
I've had a strike for it. So I've, one of my true beliefs. And so, it's okay on my channel. Let me tell you what, if it comes up and I'm very firm on it, but I do try to stay away from it, just because if I do go into it, then it keeps me from the people that I want to be with. So,
right. And I've found that also, like, if there's certain things that I might talk about now, some stuff that's going to be happening this next year coming up is we're going to be going into primary season, because this is going to be an election year next year. So I'm going to probably turn off a lot of people with if you guys all the heads up that if you don't like hearing about politics, there will be certain nights that you just won't want to listen, and you'll know by the thumbnail that you don't want to listen. If politics is not where you want to be, and you don't want to be angry because our politics are not the same, I'm fine with that. It's okay. I won't hold it against you if you don't want to be there for those. But I'm giving all of you guys the heads up that there will be some talk of politics. I won't think any less of you if you don't show up for them, or you don't agree with me on my political beliefs. I'm fine with that. Doesn't bother me. Just know that I'll still continue to do the Sunday nights as long as I can, and my Saturdays. Not every Saturday, because I've got some treats for my peeps tonight. So if you don't have Rumble, I guarantee you want to get Rumble tonight. It's going to be good. It's going to be really good.
I need to go sub to you on Rumble, because I don't think I'm sub to you.
It's the same name, Shizzy Wisnut, on Rumble. Yeah, there's only one. You'll see some little. I don't know if I've changed my icon over there yet or not. If not, you'll see some like weird looking green dude with red around him. That's the one for my Rumble. If not, you'll see the microphone. I got that one too. So it'll be one of those two. I need to update that. Like that was just a piece of AI art. And I was just like, I just need to throw something up there. So that's what I did. It sort of fit in the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, let's update it a little bit. So I got the golden microphone there. Why not?
I used to have when it was Yankin Gutter, we had the ice cube that was on fire because
Oh,
it
nice.
was like we're kind of like fire and ice. I mean, it was actually we had the perfect setup. It was, it wasn't hard for Yank to leave. In fact, I mean, I never in a million years thought that I would cry when he left. I cried on that live. I couldn't take it. I literally, and I was fine. And then he got all gushy and shit, and that was it. I was like, thanks. Now I'm in a ball. Thanks a lot, Dick.
So
Appreciate it.
you know what might be interesting for you two to do, like a year anniversary, just do a one, yeah, like a reunion. Have a just interesting stream because I'm sure both you guys have gone in slightly separate directions, and get back together and talk about all the fun times, and I guarantee you do that once a year. It's like the whole gang getting back together again.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you'd be surprised how much things really haven't changed and how much they have. And you'll probably have a blast.
I know. I know. Yeah. He's had a hell of a time getting back because I changed the passwords and everything after he was gone and everything. And it so now it doesn't seem to want to let him into StreamYard. So I gotta help him try to figure that out because it doesn't want to let him in.
Oh, if it doesn't want to let him in, you remove him and then send him a fresh invite.
Yeah, but I mean, like when he goes to get in, it tells him he needs a password, and he's like, well, I
Oh,
don't have that password. So I got to figure out how he needs to clear it so that then he can come in, because you don't have to have a StreamYard account to go into StreamYard.
right. You just have to have a password on that. Oh, yeah,
Right.
that maybe use a different email address. I don't know. That might be the thing to do.
It might be.
Yeah, you maybe try a different email, and then make that an admin, and then once he has the password for it, he can change it back to his old email. That
Mhm.
might work. That might
Yeah.
work. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Well, yeah,
I'm new to
I
all this.
I told him, come on and we'll try it the next time, go and chat and let me know you're there, and then we'll work through it with whatever we got to do to get you on.
Yeah, and it might just be something you need to contact customer support whenever you have them on there,
Right.
and say, hey, this is what's going on, and he lost his password. Can you reset the password, or send him a thing to reset it? And they'll probably walk you right through it. StreamYard usually is pretty good with their customer support on that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely need to do that. That way I can get him back on, and because I've been wanting him on there, and every time he tries to get on, he's like, the password ain't working. To hell with it. I'm like, oh, Jesus. So I need to do it.
No, that's no good. StreamYard's asshole locked you out twice yesterday and keeps leaving out comments so you can't see them. I have to constantly restart StreamYard. Like because I get these weird kind of lags. I don't know if it's doing it right now. Let me see if, and I'll do something really super quick. It'll let me know if it's still acting funky or not.
I'm the dude. So that's
Yeah, no, it's working right for me. I don't know what it is. Sometimes it just does not work like it's supposed to. It might be the Rumble stream portion of it or something. No, because I don't always stream to Rumble. There's something funky going on with it. Maybe they'll get it fixed.
Yeah, for some reason, like now it's with Rumble, it signed me out of my account on both my laptop and my phone. It's like, why? It's been signed in for years. What the hell?
And all of a sudden now I'm signed out.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Yes, I've got the Rumble stuff. Somebody else showed me how to get that set up, and it made it so much easier to do the Rumble and get them set up. The only problems I have with it is I can't just jump in there like I do with YouTube, where I can just basically click on it and set it up, and it just pushes that thing forward. So hopefully Rumble gets that stuff straightened out. If they get some of these little kinks straightened out where it just becomes much more user friendly, like being able to see chat that comes in over on Rumble. It's gonna make it a hell of a lot better. Same way if they had that, but there's nothing like that on Twitter that I know of. Like, I'm streaming live. This is going live on Twitter right now, but it's not, I don't get any interaction from it. Like, people give it thumbs up and stuff, but
Yeah. I do have the Rumble going over to our Yank and Gutter channel, but it, the problem is when I signed up for the Rumble for our Yank and Gutter channel, it made me sign up 2 channels somehow.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Pisses me off. So I was stupid and called one of them. I don't remember. I called it something different than Yank and Gutter. The Yank and Gutter. I didn't call it Yank and Gutter. To begin with, I called it the Yank and Gutter Pub. And then the other channel they wanted me to make, I called it something else. The Night of, I don't know, our Gutter Lives or some shit. So when I changed it from Yank, it wouldn't let me change the Yank and Gutter Pub. It made me leave that. I could change the other one, which I changed to Gutter's Pub, but it wouldn't let me change the Yank and Gutter Pub. So that kind of pissed me off.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody says we use Discord once too, Gutter. Tony. Yeah, I mean, I have a Discord channel, but there's only me in there. I haven't sent out any sort of invites to it. I'm real hesitant about Discord, like creating a channel, because I've seen how it can get. I just don't have time to moderate it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I gotta tell you that I do love when YouTube gave me the strike, or no, I was out of hours because I'm cheap and just have the free one. I used Discord to stream through, and I was able to stream it onto YouTube from Discord. So that it was pretty trippy. But it worked.
I've got that because I received something from StreamYard, which was really interesting. It was the same deal that the expert has for his StreamYard, where it'll give it to me for $10 a month.
Yeah, you have it till I think the end of the month or something.
Yes,
I thought about it, and then my cheap ass said, "Yeah, I need that for my RV."
Well, for $10 a month, that's not a bad thing.
No, it's pretty good.
And it gives you pretty much everything that you currently have, but you can eliminate like the thing, and you've got unlimited amount of hours.
And you can use 10. You can have 10 spots instead of 6.
Yes.
So yeah, but
I would, just telling you from experience that experts you've been using that for over 2 years now. It is so worth it to him. I mean, because unlimited amount of streaming, and you can stream. If I'm not mistaken, you can stream to multiple channels. It's awesome.
Back at you, T3.
Oh, she ain't raw yet.
Oh yeah, jeez.
It's still early.
That's right.
We're gonna wear that thing out, girl.
This is why Tony's like my red-headed stepchild. See, Shelly, she ain't nobody.
That's damn right.
He's so
she ain't nobody. Oh, we love our ladies on these channels because
Oh my gosh.
all the you can get all the simps on there, and they can they can get really painful. And don't worry, there's female simps too, which is fine, but it's the ladies that come in there and they're just like, you said something that was a little bit disturbing. I want to talk to you about it. And then whenever they understand the joke behind it or anything like that, they go, "Oh, I was about to be offended." You're like, "No, it wasn't meant to be offensive,"
Yeah, there's certain things that will. I'm like, I have pretty tough skin, but there are a few things that will set me off, and I try not to let anybody know them, anybody named Tony know them, because if you do, he goes and grabs the fucking salt shaker and he uses the rock salt one, and he literally just stabs it into your wounds. So you have to, but
little salt and lime.
Yeah, he's also made me have tougher skin because of it. So that's the good part about it.
Well, and also you realize that a lot of outside of the vicious trolls, usually you get the folks that are coming in there and they're keeping you on your toes. One, they're giving you something to think about, and they're, because maybe it was something that was on their mind and they just sort of want to get your take on it. And then you also get those that interact with your chat more than you do. Like, just because they know each other, they see each other, like T3. Now she's sitting there. See, she'll offend me. I dare you. Be prepared.
Right.
I offend right back. And she's talking to Tony.
Dear. And that's the problem is, women like us, if you hit below the belt, dude, we're ripping the belt off and we're going to wrap them around your balls and pull so tight that they're going to go blue instantly, and you will beg for us to release it. So that's the problem with women like us is we're kind of sweet, but then we go.
Love that sweet release.
That's right. When all the blood comes out. Yeah, it's just never good. So that's why I do try not to go below the belt, but there are times when, and thank God, usually it's with somebody like Tony or somebody that I know he's not going to get offended. And so that,
when he's having fun. That's the thing, is he's having fun. And that's why I'm not, he can sit there and talk trash all he wants to, because I know that he's having fun. And if somebody's getting offended by it, they'll let him know. They'll let him know. And
well, and the thing about it is it always keeps our chat really laid back in that aspect. Like, a lot of people, I mean, if they do get offended, usually they're not in our chat for long. If they get offended, usually they'll just go. And I'm okay with that. It means they probably weren't meant, because I'm not going to sit in here and monitor all that shit. And I'm not going to have these guys, my mods modded either. I'm just not going to, we're not going to deal with that. So, usually they'll leave themselves, and, I usually happen.
And all my mods know that, I pretty much let just about anything go unless you're insulting, my guest, or if you're insulting me, I'm not really worried about it. But if you say something, that could possibly get me booted from the YouTube, then I might say something or time you out. But I think I've only removed one person from my entire channel. That's it. I just was like, nope, not dealing with this person.
Yeah. Well, and you know, one of those was, I've only done it a couple times, and one of them was actually Steve. And you know, after I gave myself some time to chill out, because all he was doing was screaming and yelling the first time he came on. So when he came on,
Yeah.
and you couldn't understand him, he was drunk. It was like, fuck, I'm not dealing with this shit. You know, these people did not come here to listen to this, and I don't want to listen to this. So, but then when you know, normally I wouldn't give that the time of day again. I'd
Or
be
a
just
second
like,
chance. Yeah.
yeah. But something made me, actually it was Bobby, one of my kids, that said, give him a chance, let him come on. So then Bobby got offended later. He's like, asshole, quit offending us. So I mean, he wasn't really offended, but you know, he tried to act like it because Steve was a dick. But we just learned to deal with, you know, most of it, especially when you realize that people are joking. That's the other thing. If somebody comes in and they're joking, but you don't know them, like Tony coming here. I mean, yeah, I made it pretty clear that Tony was, you know,
Exactly. You're like, oh, this is Tony. Tony's one of my people.
yes.
It's like, okay.
If he'd just came in here and me not saying that, you'd have been like, hit the road, you know, because it would have looked like he was really coming at people, but
Right.
he's just joking. And so, you know.
Well, and that is always a helpful thing. I mean, sometimes you get so used to joking around with people on other channels. Whenever you come into a new channel, you don't realize that they don't get the joke yet.
Yeah.
So you sort of have to like feel them out and join in with, like, slowly. And
Right.
when you know, see where everybody's at and see the kind of jokes that are being told and their tolerance for stuff. And then, you know, that time that you say something that might be just a little whole hog, they go, no, he's really just joking. Like,
Right.
and you're like, yeah, it wasn't meant to be offensive. If you would have said that like 6 months ago, somebody would have found it offensive.
Well, and my problem is I usually go straight to the gutter. And so when I get into some of the chats, I have to pull myself back and go, okay, do you know what? You can't say that's what she said, because I think you're pissing them off. Okay. Just don't say it. Just wait.
Just wait.
So I literally have to pull myself back a lot, because I immediately want to go to the guy. It doesn't matter. I mean, for me, it's just easiest. Number one, everybody loosens up. As soon as I go to the gutter, the whole crew usually loosens up. So that's why I just, you know, it's one of my go-tos. I don't know, call it my defense mechanism. It works.
The internet is a free space. Lesbian dudes notwithstanding. Oh, that's wonderful. Was that Tony doesn't know how to do that? He dives in head first. And of course, some ladies appreciate that. Some just swallow them whole.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Tony would love nothing more than to be swallowed. Trust me. He begs for it every night. Trust me.
Well, and this is one of the reasons why whenever I reached out to you, I wanted to have you on. More of that one-on-one, because I think a lot of times people don't get to see the other side of people that they see on the interwebs. They really miss out on what sort of makes us tick, and why we go the way that we go, the things that we talk about, the weirdness and the goofiness, and realize that we're just as human as the next. We still do have feelings. We just try not to show them as much.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I mean, they've like my crew's seen my feelings like one time, you know, and that was when Yank left. And that was me truly going to tears, and there was no joking. I was pissed because he made me go to tears. And but I couldn't hold it back. I was bummed that he was leaving. And, he's like, I know Gigi will do really good with this channel, and she'll give it everything that it needs, and she'll make it into something. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up, dude. You're just down the street. Knock it off. Which he's in another state, but it's like, you're just right there. Don't be doing that. But I mean, he had me in tears by the time he got I try not to give off those feelings. I try to leave those feelers at home. But the OGs know. They already know it.
Shelly's funny because she's like, my whole channel is about my feelings.
Well, I mean, I don't hide none, obviously, but I definitely try not to give out, first of all, usually if you got me crying, usually it's because I'm pissed off. So let's just
let's not piss you off.
Yeah.
My wife does that too. She gets mad, she starts crying.
Oh,
like I'm like, I can't fight this. Like, if you get mad, I can like calm you down, but you start crying and I'm like, you broke me.
Usually shit starts breaking. Once I'm to that point and I'm at that, shit starts flying. So usually it's just better never to let me get there, because I end up hurting myself 9 times out of 10, to tell you the truth. Like pull the plug out of the wall from the vacuum cleaner and it'll come back and hit you right.
Oh.
Right? I did that. My husband was in the kitchen with my mother, and you have no idea how glad he was. So glad that my mother was here and seen the whole thing go down. But I looked like I had a snake that bit me right here between the eyes. I went to my dentist, who, the whole reason it happened is because I wanted a new vacuum cleaner, and Marvin said no, that I didn't need one. And it was a piece of shit Hoover, and I wanted to get rid of it. And anyways, I grabbed a hold of that cord, and when I did, that sumbitch come back and hit me right there. And I dropped to the floor immediately and come up with blood all over. And of course, the kids come out of the bedroom and they're crying because I got blood all over. My mom's laughing her ass off. So is my husband. And when I went to the dentist, he said, well, I guess you won't talk to Marv like that again. I said, oh, fuck you.
I love it.
Marv said I look like a, what did he say? I said, well, when I sat up, and of course I had blood all over my hands, and I'm like, what does it look like? And he's like a wall outlet. My mom just died laughing. So that's, yeah.
Here, let me see if it'll plug in.
I was so pissed.
Oh, that's the kind of stuff I do to my wife.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. She. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
One time, Marv's the type that thinks that, like, I'm just bulletproof, like I can just live through anything. I think it's because having kids and all of that, and he just he got to go to work, deal with that part, and I dealt with the kids and a job and all that, and he didn't have to mess with anything. So he kind of, it's like he just thinks I can do everything. Well, he gets to the point where now I'm like, dude, I really don't want to do all of it. And so I'll literally make a point to not do stuff so that he can see that I don't want to do it all. But it gets to the point now where he already knows everything. I can do most of anything that needs to be done regarding the house. But it definitely gets to a point now where when you don't have kids to have to worry about it and things to pick up, to be responsible for, and it's just the two of you. Now he kind of looks at me, and I swear sometimes he just looks at me and goes, it's like I married a new woman, like the minute that the kids kind of left the house, because now there's not that, I need to do it. Because I don't. I mean, you can
No.
fix your own plate. You're a happy ass right out there and make you some macaroni and cheese. I don't give a shit. So we've definitely gone around about that a few times. But yeah, it's kind of funny how over the years you kind of learn to change things. And
Well,
Marv is not the king. He may be the king, but I'm the queen, Tony.
oh, it'd be like my mother did to my father when I was really young. He said, "I'm the king of this house." And she took a frying pan over an iron skillet over his head. So if you're
Mm.
the king, I'm going to crown you. Dong, dong. And yeah, he went down pretty quick. I'll
I had
never
a-
forget that. I was like,
I had
oh
a-
my God.
I had a boyfriend who his parents were, his dad was an alcoholic, and he'd go home. His mom worked at the sawmill, and his dad was a logger, and he was a tree faller. So he worked out in the woods, and his mom worked in at the mill, and she raised their two kids. And she was a hardworking woman, and just a little tiny thing. She didn't weigh 100 pounds soaking wet. And she worked at the mill pulling stickers, so these great big long boards, and she'd pull them off the chain and throw them onto a pallet. Well, he would get drunk, and she didn't drink. And he'd get drunk and come home and decide he's going to kick the shit out of her on a regular basis. And he came home one night, and he kicked the hell out of her. And they had a waterbed, and you know how waterbed have those sheets that they're sewed at one end, and she tied up the waterbed sheets so he couldn't get out. And then she went upstairs, and she got little John's baseball bat, and she went back downstairs, and she broke both his kneecaps. And then she called 911 and told him, you probably should get here and deal with him. He's into bed. So they get there, and they have to untie the bed to see. I mean, he's sitting there just screaming. She ain't letting him out, man. You move some bit, I'll hit you again. So anyways, she didn't even get charges pressed against him. I'll tell you what, that man, he tells the story. She don't tell the story. He tells the story, and he tells you he'll never hit a woman ever again in his life, ever.
That's
So yeah,
what,
she taught him a pretty good lesson.
damn right. That's what it takes.
That's right. He's
Like,
fucking,
so if your husband was a lumberjack, I'm assuming that you just like those big burly men with the flannel, and that just gets you all hot and bothered.
you know what's weird is he's only 5'7" and 180 pounds.
Yeah, but he's still got that build, doesn't he?
Well, he's a bad boy, so he has that, you know. So
I can see you right now going, "Oh,
Yeah.
lumberjack." Mm.
yeah, I was definitely the one. It's funny because we grew up in the same town, but never met until we were of age. And I had already had my first child. I had my daughter by the time I met him. And he had come back to town. He'd been away in Wyoming or somewhere. And he brought a girlfriend back to town with fake tits, my dad. And I always have to put that in there. Anyways, he brings her back to town, and she ends up being just a fucking hoe. And he gets rid of her. But she introduces me to him because I had met her. And so she took me to his house, and she wanted money from him. And he's like, I ain't giving you no money, and I could care less if I ever see you again, but you could bring back your friend anytime you want. So that's how we met, was through him.
Love it.
So, yeah. And, so anyway, yeah, she was quite the woman, let me tell you. That was quite strange, but it's really strange because she decided she was gonna fight me when we got together. We had stayed the night together, and she showed up, and she was gonna whoop our ass. She was gonna whoop my ass. She grabbed my hair. Well, anyways, we got her out of the house, and we ended up breaking a window. She broke the window, hitting it. So she leaves. He goes to get another window. I break the window. She goes to freaking the doctor's office, gets charged or gets a bill that tries to send it to him. Before he even does that, he calls the doctor's office, says, she's down there right now getting stitches, and don't put that bill under my name, because they were not married. They were just boyfriend and girlfriend. So he knew it. She was up to, I'm telling you what, it was just yeah. He was like, I mean, I knew I was going to have to fight for him. So yeah, there was definitely a bad boy quality. At that point, he had just moved here and was going to school to become an airplane and a maintenance man or an airplane mechanic. So,
Wow.
so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my so interesting because my older sister thought, because being a musician, you're going to marry some blonde hair Barbie, that with fake tits that wears a mini skirt to a funeral and it's like this eye catching, like supermodel or something. I just laughed at her. I was like, that's not what appeals to me. I mean, I don't mind looking at a beautiful woman, but that just doesn't appeal to me. I like someone that I can go have a burger with and, kick back and drink a beer and actually have a conversation. They're intelligent. And it's more than just about the looks. And so whenever she met my wife, she was just like, this is not what I pictured. Like, this is before we got married. She goes, this is not what I pictured for you. I was like, why? And she goes, because you're a musician. You're supposed to have like all the slutty ones that, that look like they would, suck the chrome off of a bumper. I was just like, well, sorry to disappoint.
Hate to tell you. Oh yeah, it was really strange that we'd grown up in the same town as each other, but didn't know each other. And I knew his brother, and he knew my sister.
Yeah,
I never knew him.
What's the age difference?
8 years, 8.5.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Yeah, he's older.
Well, I do have another show that's going to be starting here in about 15 minutes, and we're gonna hang out here for a little bit longer. We're gonna continue talking. And whenever I kick this thing off, it's going to transfer everybody over to the next one, which it's going to be the Twin Flames thing. Oh boy, if you haven't seen it, it is an interesting one. So that's where it'll be kicking over, but that's not going to happen for another 15 minutes. So if we do end early, I just want everybody to know that that's where it's sending you to, and it'll be going to Rumble at some point, possibly tonight. If not, part 3 will, because this is going to be a long series, and lots of conversation about this one. Because I have to thank David from MLS Law, MLS. He's the one that turned me on to this one. He was like, you need to check this one out because it's in his neck of the woods in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cult that's oof.
We'll have to check it out.
Stalking and transitioning and all kinds of stuff. It's weird group of people. So, but that's where it'll be going. But I just wanted everybody to know, make sure that you guys have gone over, if you're not already subbed to the Gutter Girl. The Gutter Girl, Gutter's Pub.
Yes.
Make sure that you go over there and sub to her. Let's see if we can get her over that 500 mark where she gets her channel monetized. It's not going to change the stuff that she's doing. It's just going to mean that she can actually receive super chats whenever you guys decide to throw money at her. Just think about, you can make it rain over at Gutter's Pub. You can just be like, yeah,
That's right. Get the pole.
Yeah, she'll even get out the ping pong balls.
There you go.
You heard it from me. She'll break out the ping pong balls.
I ain't going to put a spoon with them either.
So we've got, you do every Tuesday.
I I
And
do it
what-
5 o'clock Pacific Standard, 8 o'clock Eastern.
There you go. See, now I wouldn't have not known that. I'm really bad at the transferring. I'm like sitting there having to do math, which is confusing to me. It's like ones and zeros.
Well, it's that whole 3 hours difference. Well,
Yeah.
I get confused when I have to start worrying about the central time, because then I'm like, oh shit, it's 2. And then mountain time, they're an hour ahead of us. And oh, fuck, it's just
Yeah.
one after another. So yeah.
Yeah. And I always suggest tell people that, it's 8 o'clock Pacific time. And that way you guys can do the freaking math. If you can't do the math,
Yeah.
well, then you just need to sub and make sure you have a little bell ding so you get notifications.
Silly, they were broke up, just so you don't think I stole him. They were broke up. She just came for money. He said, you ain't getting no money, but I'll take that girl you got right there. You didn't get me then, but I stalked him down and I found him.
Yeah, she got it taken care of. She did what you need to do.
That's right. I got it handled.
Well, not wreck a bitch. You're sweet. Okay.
No, I know you're not any. I just wanted to clarify so you didn't think that. I mean,
Oh, I love it.
I go to the gutter, but I do
No.
have some morals.
Yeah, they're in the gutter, but she has morals.
That's right. I do.
Well,
thank you, Rabbit. I
well-
hope you get to feeling better, Rabbit.
yes, most definitely. She's like I said, absolute gem, and she's made me better to know her. I mean, she's like she's directed me in some pretty good paths. I've said some stuff and she'll go, yeah, that wasn't good. Like, you might want to change that a little bit.
I
was like,
know. I always
oh.
love those ones and I love how they can tell it to me so I don't, so I'm not, not that they have to ever sugarcoat much to me, because usually, but it has to be those people that I know are genuine when they say it, and not just saying it to, I've actually had people come on my channel and say, your audio is echoing and it's you, it's not me. And I'm like, well, it's funny because it didn't echo till you showed up. So it took a while to get that through to them. But I love people to critique me, but I need it to be genuinely critiquing me and not just trying to lead me down some straight path that I'm going to sit and fuck with my audio for an hour for no reason,
Right.
So, yeah.
Anything
Thank God
you
I figure out my audio tonight.
anything you want to shell out?
Anything
You
else?
want to shell out to these folks?
Not a whole lot. Thanks so much for letting me come here and hang out. And by all means, you can come check out my show or my channel, Gutters Pub. But please make sure you like and subscribe to Shizzy. And hopefully I get to come back and hang out another time and see how
and maybe we'll have you on with a whole panel where there's more than just me. And
yeah. Then
if
I'm not
we-
in the hot seat.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, I didn't make it too hot for
Oh
you.
no, you did good. And
I mean-
the thing about it is I have to say I'm not nearly as witty as a lot of these people you have on here. So I could definitely dull the shine a little bit because, man, you got some witty people.
Yeah, they're much wittier than me. Like I'm
Thank you, Tony.
encompassed by all of them. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Make sure you go over to Gutter Girl. Make sure that if you get those notifications, what do you miss? It's a Tuesday. Come on, you get those Tuesday notifications, and you get this kind of stuff.
Be dry, baby.
I'm telling you, you get that right there. You're gonna have a wonderful night. And everybody, I'll see you guys probably in about I don't know, was it 10 minutes or so? It'll be kicking off over there, and that's going to be a completely different thing than what this is. So everybody, love y'all, and
Thanks, Shiz.
hang out. I'll be done in a second.
Okay.
Oh. I love a buttered biscuit.